Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and in today's video, I think I titled this video something like Raid on a Budget. Now, I want to talk about what that means in terms of time and money, how to best kind of utilize, especially time. You know, if you're someone who only has like 15 to 30 minutes a day, or maybe even a little bit less to do your dailies and content and stuff like that, I want to talk about what your priorities should be, the kind of things that you should be focusing on if you only have that little bit of time, and how you can still make some meaningful progress in this game on your roster every single day. And before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started an account on Raid Shadow Legends yet, then you can download the game using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen, or using the link in the description down below to get yourself a free Epic Rector draft alongside some other freebie resources which you'll use. Also, by account level 15, you will get yourself this Ugo, who is one of the best epic characters in Raid Shadow Legends. I am using them every single day on my roster, so don't delay, and they'll definitely help you out in your start. And if you find the information in this video helpful, I would definitely appreciate if you guys hit the subscribe button down below. Greatly help out the channel. And also, if you want to continue on the conversation, I do have a Discord server as well that you can join, which you can find in the description box down below. Now, when the reset happens for the game, I mean, the first thing that I do, obviously, and again, some of this stuff might feel intuitive, but making sure that you get your daily quests done is really, really important. Some of this stuff you can do really quickly, honestly. Classic Arena 5 times doesn't sound that bad. It can go pretty quickly on auto. Summoning 3 champions, you can do that with your mystery shards, which you should be able to collect pretty easily, and you should have some saved up so that you can do this really quickly as well. And then normally when you're using your 50 energy, that would be combined with something else. Like down below here, there's like beat a campaign boss 3 times, right? So you would kind of double dip and get that done. If you're really on a tight budget in terms of time, you could easily just take a level 1 artifact and just level it up to level 4. And that would be really, really quick. It doesn't cost a lot of silver for you to do that. And then purchasing an item at the market, normally for me, isn't anything there right now, actually, but I could just buy this for 10,000 if I was desperate for time. If I couldn't come back online, I would do that. Typically, I would just wait for like a mystery shard to show up. I don't normally buy, 8.6 million silver. Don't buy. Some of this stuff I just would not buy. The prices are too high and silver is too valuable to really waste on that. So do keep that in mind there. But making sure that you get your daily quests cleared out as fast as possible is probably the best thing to do first, right? I'm not going to go through and clear the campaign, but make you watch me do that. Normally I would go into chapter 12. I've mentioned this in previous videos. I love farming on chapter 12 where possible, making sure that you get your farmer character. And in my instance, it's Kale, right? It could be an AoE character for you with a lifesteal set, and then you'll just clear this out really quickly. But in this case, it does have to be stage 7, which is the boss one. So you do that, and you would get the quest completed for that one. There are a few other ones that, like, again, Arena, I can show you really quickly. I have to refresh here. And I've actually been trying to climb, so getting that 5 done, it does not have to be a win. So that's good. If you don't have a ton of time, if you can't wait for the arena to refresh because it takes 15 minutes, to get that free refresh in, then you could just do a lose battle. If you're really like stressed for time, you could do that as well. I mean, I could just do that right now. Probably not going to, who knows, maybe I'll win this battle. I'm up punching a little bit here. Maybe I'll actually win it. But, doing this 5 times, especially when it's on auto, is not going to take a significant amount of time here, unless for whatever reason your battle ends up taking for a while. But it looks like even punching up, I'm actually doing pretty well. So I won that anyways. But that's my point, is that it doesn't really take too much time. You get all your 5-year arena battles done in less than 5 minutes. So that's not a big problem there. Honestly, that's probably going to take you the most time. Everything else can be done really quickly with some button pressing. The campaign stuff maybe take you a couple minutes at best. So you can do your daily clears less than 10 minutes. And it's really important that you do this because you get this, not only do you get the XP, so, if you're a new player and you're working your way towards, level 100, account level 100, right? You're going to need all of this stuff, especially the energy on the arena. This is the absolute priority. I would prioritize that because that's going to be, a free energy refresh, which is very important. And then the 10 daily gems is also going to be very important. And this stuff kind of funnels into your weekly quests. And so for every time that you do 6 daily quests that you do clear this, you get a free ancient shard. But there's also, I forget everything that's actually on here because I just cleared this recently. But there's summon 25 champions. Again, super easy to do. Upgrade one artifact to 12. Again, super easy to do. Upgrade a champion to rank 4. Not that hard to do, but you can do that over the course of a week, and that's not really a big problem. And then dungeon bosses 15 times, which you're probably going to do for a variety of other quests as well. So you're going to get this done within the week, right? So a lot of the content that you're just doing on a regular basis, you'll end up clearing for the weekly. It's really important that you do kind of think about this and get this done, though. And then, of course, by doing the daily quest, it's going to funnel into the monthly quest, which again is really important. So if you do 30 daily quests, you get a void shard, which is very important. And then you eventually, if you do this 5 times, by clearing this quest, which takes 30 days, of course, you will get a sacred shard, and sacred shards are very valuable. So making sure that you do all your quests is going to help you not only pick up a lot of very valuable shards, but also a lot of XP that's going to help you get to that level 100 at the end of the day. The advanced quest is something that I do want to talk about because this is kind of challenging to do when you first get it unlocked. And I forget honestly what level it unlocked. I want to say it's like 25. Someone can correct me in the comments down below. I forget the exact level that this unlocks, and I will admit that some of these quests are hard to do when you first get them unlocked. I was not able to clear all of them. There's a few specific advanced quests that are a little bit more challenging, but the rewards that you get for doing this is also really important. You get a 3-day XP boost pretty early on. And if you were able to do all this stuff, you get a 5-star turkey, you get a 4-star turkey, an epic tomb, and a legendary skill tomb, which is my QR code is kind of blocking in the way here. But there is a legendary skill tomb there at the very end. And there's 10 quests that you can do every single day, which means that basically, if you do all of these advanced quests, you can get a legendary skill tomb every 28 days essentially, if you're able to clear all this. But there's also valuable stuff like another full energy refresh and lots of additional resources. There's energy in here, there's more gems, but there's a few of these that are hard to do. So for example, the ones that I have right now, win materials in classic arena battles. This takes a few more arena battles than your daily, which takes 5. So if you don't have a ton of time, focus on your dailies first before the advanced quest. But there's a couple in here that you might not be able to do when you first get this unlocked. Accessory upgrade attempts. This should be doable, but you have to start farming that spider or the current event one, right? In order to get accessories, you have to farm the spider dungeon boss. Alternatively, of course, that you could also do the current event dungeon from the Alice event here. They also drop accessories, but otherwise you have to do Spider's Den. Spider's Den at the start of the game, anyways, with a new account is not, depending on what you have available to you, is not always the easiest to clear. But you should be able to do this by the time, at least the early levels, by the time that you actually get the advanced quests unlocked. And then some of the other ones that are more challenging, actually probably the hardest one, this one you can cheese. The fight in a classic with a team from a single faction, you're probably going to have to lose, but you can just make sure that you're attacking with a single character, and that counts as a single faction, and then you'll get that one cleared. As far as the Faction Wars boss, this is probably the hardest thing for newer players, and this is something that I'm struggling with as well, is Faction Wars in general. Because I don't have a wide roster. I haven't been playing that long. I'm about 3 weeks in now as of recording this video. And so here on my day, I have Undead Horde and the Bannerlord Crypt. And as far as what characters I have available, it's okay. I have like a collection of rares at 30 and one epic at 40. But that's not going to get me to kill the faction boss, the Faction Wars boss. And that's this, stage 7. Like, this is the first time you encounter a Faction Wars boss, and it's very hard, like, in the early game. Like, I can't clear this. I can only clear this on a handful of factions that I have good characters on, like the Dark Elf one for Kale, the Sacred Order for Alice, and then my Skinwalker one for Sun Wukong. And that's pretty much it. Undead Horde, I have not been able to clear this. I have like nothing available. So this is probably going to be the hardest quest for you to clear in the advanced section, and honestly something that I'm not able to do every single day. So, as much as you should do as many of these as possible, you may not be able to finish all 10 of them to get that full energy. It doesn't always require you to kill a Faction War boss, though. These kind of change. I feel like there's like maybe 13 quests out of you need to do 10, and they choose like 10 random out of 13, but this one's a bit more challenging to do. 8 million damage total to Demon Lord. There's a variety of Demon Lord related or clan boss related quests here, but this one for me is not that bad. This is equivalent to about 2 attacks on the Demon Lord. I normally score around 4 to 6 million. But obviously in the early game, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you to do that. And also the silver keys in the Doom Tower. I want to point this out specifically because when I first unlocked the advanced quest, I couldn't do this because you had to get all the way to the 10th floor before you could actually start using your silver keys, which is this level here, floor 10, the Celestial Griffin right now. And I wasn't able to do this for a while. So I can now, but it's definitely not something you'll be able to do within like the first couple of weeks. So do keep that in mind depending on how fast you're progressing on those advanced quests. It can be quite challenging to do. The crypt keys and the faction wars, that's pretty easy to do. Even just like the lowest level ones, that should be fairly viable or reasonable. The winning the 3 artifacts and accessories from dungeons, again, you can find the best dungeon that you like to farm gear from, and you just need to get 3 items from that. So typically that's going to be anywhere from 30 to 40 energy that you're going to spend to do that. And then I think at this point you also get the tag team arena series. Now this is tougher. You don't have to win them, thankfully, because they are actually quite hard. Like I can't progress very far in tag team arena at all. So I just hope for the best. But if I have to clear it, I'll lose, right? Because I can't. My total team power is pretty low. Like even if I try, I'm well now I'm at 200k, but like realistically, I'm not always going to win these matches. So it's very hard to climb tag team arena, unfortunately, right now with newer accounts. But again, I think that you should try to clear as many of these advanced quests as possible. Look at them, see what they require you to do, and try to clear as many as you can. Because again, going towards the top of the various rewards, once you get that legendary book at the very end here, you can see the text popping out here, then it resets again and you do all of this again. And so some of these things are quite valuable because it's hard to get these things in the game free to play. And that's the other thing that I want to talk about actually, is if you're looking to spend a little bit of money in Raid Shadow Legends, what is the best way for you to do that? There are some of these offers. This popped out for me today, actually. This is a lightning offer or a flash offer. The problem with these ones is that if you close it down, it goes away. However, typically they're of pretty good value because you can see here that it includes 5 full energies, 1 legendary skill tomb, a rank 5 chicken, which is quite valuable as well, and 3 epic skill tombs. The 3-star chicken's not so much. The 50 multi-battle attempts is okay. Actually, it's 150, actually. That's pretty good. So if you look at the price of like what some of these are just standalone, especially the legendary skill tomb, and I think a rank 5 chicken, we might be able to find that in the shop as well. I wasn't able to take advantage of that. I didn't buy it, but these do pop up from time to time, and I think that you could find them. Is it in the bank? Like one legendary tomb is 20.99 Canadian. I think that's maybe 15 US dollars, right? So 20.99 Canadian. It was the same price. So the price of 1 legendary skill tomb, the regular value of it was just that, and you get everything else, right? So it's crazy the kind of value that you do get from these flash offers. So those are the kind of things that if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, those are the things that I would kind of watch out for. I'm not usually one to buy these kind of standard offers. There's a few of these that kind of show up all the time. That would be your ancient shards, your void shards, these kind of things. I prefer like special packs, and normally you can find these within, at least in Canadian dollars, I somewhere between $20 and $30. US probably about $15 to $30, that kind of thing. Some of the energy ones actually aren't terrible either, especially in the early game when you need to make a lot of progress. If you want to clear out some of these milestones, and that's where it's going to make a pretty significant difference. Some of these adventure string packs actually aren't that bad either. It's just a little bit disappointing. I can't see the price beyond the first one, so I can make that educated guess, I guess you could say, as how much money I'm going to be spending and the value. I can't really see that, and that's a little bit annoying there. But what's really important about some of these energy offers, though, if you do decide to do that, it's going to help you with events, right? Event milestones. Right now, we have the Tea Party Titan event, which is like collecting teacups from the various milestones, which most of that is energy related. So you need energy to funnel everything in this game, and it will help you to get more things completed. I'm trying to get to this Cat's Gaze. I don't know if I'm going to finish this within the next week, but I kind of hope that I do. The Dungeon Divers milestone, for example, that just requires you to spend a lot of energy on farming your dungeons to get gear, right? And so some of this has the teacups, which is for that event milestone. All these other ones, not the Summoning Rush, but the actual tournaments themselves, they also contain things that you can spend your energy on. I have a Fire Knights tournament that's showing up pretty soon. There was a Spiders tournament, which I did not engage in. Champion Training Tournament for Cheshire Cat, which involved leveling up your characters and upgrading them. You can actually double dip with the Dungeon Divers one. So all of these just require you to spend a variety of different amounts of energy in different things. And that's why that if you are going to spend your money on anything, I think it's probably better actually to spend it on energy offers than it is for like shards and things like that. You know, those can come naturally as well through the game and just through your general gameplay. So, the other thing too is I didn't actually mention this, but there's obviously the playtime rewards. Now, again, if you're playing on a time budget on your daily and you can't make 60 minutes, right? What you could do, and this is something that you absolutely can do, is whether you're on your PC or you're on your phone, just leave your game open if you're able to do that. That way that you can just check and collect some of these resources, especially the 60-minute free energy refill, because that's quite important. So even if you can't immediately like play your game, if you just like leave something open and then that way it still ticks, that's what I do if I don't have a lot of time for the day as well, because I want to make sure that I can collect all of this stuff. I'm on Plarium Play on the PC, so that's why I have these down below where you can collect Plarium Play points towards the program here, of course. So depending on how far along you are, there's different things that you can get through that every day. So making sure that you do your daily content is, of course, super important to your progress in Raid Shadow Legends, but there's definitely ways that you can kind of do this a little bit quicker if you don't have a ton of time. So I hope that this video was a little bit helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if it was. And of course, if you haven't downloaded Raid Shadow Legends yet and you are a returning player or a new player to Raid Shadow Legends, then make sure that you download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen or using the download link in the description and pinned comment down below. So that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.